The pumpkins are glowing, the bats are flying, and the ghosts are giggling. It's time for Haunted Round 3 of Halloween trivia, but for grown-ups. Question: what classic 1984 film features a cute creature that turns evil if fed after midnight? The answer is Gremlins. Fun fact: Gremlins is often considered both a Christmas and Halloween favorite because of its spooky mischief. Question: which famous magician died on Halloween in 1926? The answer is Harry Houdini. Fun fact: Houdini's death on Halloween fueled legends that he might return from the afterlife during seances held in his honor. Question: which country is believed to be the birthplace of Halloween? The answer is Ireland. Fun fact: Halloween originated from the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain, marking the end of the harvest and the beginning of winter. Question: in what U.S. state is it illegal to dress up like a priest or nun on Halloween? The answer is Alabama. Fun fact: the law dates back to 1965 and still technically prohibits impersonating clergy members. Question: what classic horror movie features a killer named Michael Myers? The answer is Halloween 1978. Fun fact: the film's budget was so low that Michael Myers' mask was a spray-painted Captain Kirk mask from Star Trek. Question: what type of spirit is said to haunt houses and move objects? The answer is poltergeist. Fun fact: the word poltergeist comes from German meaning noisy ghost. Question: what famous early colonial event is often linked to Halloween themes? The answer is the Salem witch trials. Fun fact: the trials took place in 1692, nearly 200 years before Halloween became a holiday in America. Question: what's the most commercially successful horror movie of all time? The answer is It, 2017. Fun fact: the Stephen King adaptation grossed over $700 million worldwide, more than any other horror film in history. Question: what ancient festival inspired modern-day Halloween? The answer is Samhain. Fun fact: it marked the end of the harvest season and the beginning of the dark half of the year in Celtic tradition. Question: which Halloween movie features the Sanderson sisters? The answer is Hocus Pocus. Fun fact: the film flopped in theaters in 1993, but became a cult favorite through TV reruns. Question: who directed the classic horror film Psycho, 1960? The answer is Alfred Hitchcock. Fun fact: the infamous shower scene used chocolate syrup to simulate blood. Question: what horror movie features Freddy Krueger? The answer is A Nightmare on Elm Street. Fun fact: Freddy's glove was inspired by Wes Craven's cat, which used to scratch his sofa. Question: what's the name of the Addams family's towering butler? The answer is Lurch. Fun fact: his catchphrase, "You rang," became one of TV's most quoted lines of the 1960s. Question: what do you call a ghost that haunts the place where it died? The answer is a revenant. Fun fact: the word comes from Latin and means one who returns. Question: what is the name of the hotel in The Shining? The answer is the Overlook Hotel. Fun fact: the movie's famous "Here's Johnny" line was improvised by Jack Nicholson. Question: what horror film's tagline was, "In space, no one can hear you scream"? The answer is Alien. Fun fact: the Alien's design was based on artwork by surrealist H.R. Giger. Question: which horror movie villain has appeared in the most films? The answer is Dracula. Fun fact: Count Dracula has been portrayed in more than 200 movies, more than any other character. Question: what does the word Samhain literally mean in Old Irish? The answer is summer's end. Fun fact: the Celts saw Samhain as the transition between the light and dark halves of the year. Question: what city is home to the famous Sleepy Hollow legend? The answer is Tarrytown, New York. Fun fact: Washington Irving's story is set in the real Hudson Valley area. Question: which fruit was once used to predict a person's future spouse on Halloween night? The answer is apples. Fun fact: Celtic maidens peeled apples in one long strip to see the shape of their future lover's initial. Question: what horror icon carries a chainsaw as a weapon? The answer is Leatherface. Fun fact: he first appeared in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 1974. Question: what horror movie features a killer named Jason Voorhees? The answer is Friday the 13th. Fun fact: Jason didn't actually wear his famous hockey mask until the third film. Question: what creature drains life energy rather than blood, inspiring many vampire myths? The answer is the chupacabra. Fun fact: the name means goat sucker in Spanish, first reported in Puerto Rico in 1995. Question: which famous family includes characters like Gomez, Morticia, and Uncle Fester? The answer is the Addams Family. Fun fact: they first appeared as a comic strip in The New Yorker in 1938. Question: what classic Halloween symbol represents good luck in Mexico's Day of the Dead? The answer is the marigold flower. Fun fact: it's believed the scent of marigolds helps guide spirits back to the living world. Thanks for creeping it real with us. If you had a spooktacular time, give this video a like, hit subscribe, and share the Halloween fun with your ghoulish gang. More tricks, treats, and trivia await. See you in the next haunted round.